What's up guys, this is Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I want to do a quick video showing you guys my favorite email client for Linux. So as I stated in the intro, I wanted to go on to show you guys my favorite email client for the Linux operating system, which is Thunderbird. And it's very similar to Microsoft Outlook. It's an open source email client. And in a lot of cases, it is better than Microsoft Outlook. So if you switch to Linux, Thunderbird is the equivalent of Outlook on Microsoft systems, or whatever the mail client is on Mac OS, which I don't really know. But let me go down and show you guys their website and show you what it's all about. So as you can see, I'm at thunderbird.net. This is the main website for the program, and not sure if you can tell, but this application is built by Mozilla, which is the same creators of Firefox, which is a very popular web browser. So let me go to the About Us and read there, and that way it'll explain exactly what it is. So what is Thunderbird? Thunderbird is a free and open source email, news feed, chat, and calendaring client that's easy to set up and customize. One of the core principles of Thunderbird is the use and promotion of open standards. This focus is a rejection of our world of closed platforms and services that can't communicate with each other. We want our users to have freedom and choice in how they communicate. So no matter what operating system you're using, you can actually download it. It's cross-platform, so I just wanted to point that out there. So if you haven't switched to Linux and you want to get familiar with it on Mac OS or your Windows system, then you can install Thunderbird on both of those platforms. But let's go to the features tab right fast, and I want to go through and show you guys a few of the features. So it says easier to get started. And as you can see, the first thing that'll pop up when you install the application, your first time opening it up, it will pop up with a setup wizard. You can go through and set up your email accounts there. So they have a mail account setup wizard, one-click address book. You can add things to your address book, pretty simple. Attachment reminder, that's basically if you're about to send an email and you have like words in it that say attachment, as soon as you hit send, it will remind you that you haven't added the attachment to the email. If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? That's general in most email clients. I know even in Gmail, in the web client, they have that option that pops up. Like if you type something in there talking about C attachment or something like that, it'll say, wait, you haven't attached anything to the email before it sends it out. And then let's scroll down a little further. So it's tabs and search. One thing I really like about Thunderbird, it has tabbed email. So when you open up email, it'll open it up in a new tab, similar to your browser. So like I have these two tabs open, my KeepItTechie thing. So I'll show you guys when I open it up, but it'll open up your email in different tabs. So I don't know, to me, I like the tab browsing for the web. So it kind of worked out great in Thunderbird as far as like managing my email. You can open up your email in different tabs. So I thought that was pretty cool. Quick filter toolbar. So I'll show you guys that, but you can search your email, which is pretty cool. Then you have your search tool. It'll go through and it'll show you like statistics of when this person has emailed you. You can narrow it down to different email addresses. It's a pretty cool search feature. So to me, it's a whole lot better than Outlook. And I use Outlook on a daily basis. But when I get off work and I'm on my personal computer, this is a great tool within Thunderbird that I use, as far as searching email. Then you have your message archive. So you can archive messages just like any other client. And then here we go. Customize your email experience. Now, this is One of the best parts about it, let's see, large file management, share large files with Thunderbird file link. So you can do that. You can use that feature. And also the look and feel. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of themes that you can install, as well as I stick with the defaults because they're fine for me. I like simple, dark themes. And the way I have mine set up, it just uses it matches the theme that I have installed on my system. So that's one thing. But you can always, change it up, depending on how well you see things on the screen, or you like your background, if you want to change it up so it'll be easier on your eyes looking through your email. And then smart folders. It says smart folders help you manage multiple email accounts by combining special folders like inbox, sent. So it's pretty much just like in Outlook when you first set up an account or add your account to Outlook. It'll create those folders for you, spam, sent, archive, all those general folders. And then add-on manager. I'll show you guys that when we open it up, but that's how you add your add-ins to it. Here's another big section that I like to highlight is secure and protect your email. So one thing about Thunderbird is very privacy centric. They have a couple features built into the actual application that will, stop email from being open. Like if it has HTML in it, or if it has remote images. That's the way a lot of people send email nowadays. But if you trying to conserve bandwidth, and also people can attach code to different things like images and all that stuff that can run on your system, if it automatically downloads, you know what I'm saying? And one of the features in Thunderbird is you can block images from downloading, as well as different types of code like HTML5 in an email. It's no need for email to have code, because it's all about sending. To me, it's all about sending text as well as attachments. Just make sure you open up attachments from people that you're supposed to be receiving attachments from. So that's just an important thing on staying safe while using email. But they have the phishing protection. This will attempt to indicate messages that or possible phishing attempts. And this is I kind of look at it as a second line of defense, because with Gmail, their phishing protection is pretty good. So it blocks a lot of email when you get it forwarded to your client. So once it's there, the phishing protection on Thunderbird doesn't have to do much work. It has to do some, because some stuff still gets through Gmail's phishing scanning. This is like the last line of defense, but it's built into Thunderbird as well. So, and then automatic updates, it automatically checks for system updates. Well, it depends on what distribution you have. But on Windows and Mac OS, automatic updates, so it'll fall in line with any other application that you install on one of your systems. And we scroll down here, it says cutting out the junk. Thunderbird's popular junk mail tool. So it has the junk mail tool, and it'll kind of learn and improve as you select things that are junk. It'll automatically send it to the junk folder for your different accounts. And of course, this is an open source application. I always like to show open source applications. So because you can actually look at the code and see who actually wrote the program and the software. You can check it out for yourself. It's not hidden from the users. So that's the one great thing about open source. You don't have like code that's doing things in the background that you don't know about. Well, it could be, but at least you have that option to go check out the code for yourself and see. And most of the time, even if you don't understand the code, other people are looking out for your best interests as well when it comes to open source. So if you don't understand the code, somebody is out there looking at the code and verifying that there's nothing fishy going on, where it's, pulling data kind of like Microsoft does with their closed source operating system. It kind of sends stuff back to Microsoft. Pretty much everything you do on that system, you know what I'm saying? So just wanted to point that out. That's my whole purpose for showing open source, is because it's great to know what's going on in the software, or at least have that peace of mind that you can look at what the software is doing. So moving on, but down here it says get involved. So I recommend, if you really like the project, it's to kind of join, contribute, do what you can, especially if you're a coder. This is a great way to, add some stuff to your portfolio by working on different open source projects. So if this is something you may be interested in working on or contributing code to, then you could do that here. And then right here, this is basically a beta. You can check out the beta where it has the bleeding edge version of the actual software. So as they make changes, you'll see them, or it'll be a little bit behind as they're making changes. But just note that, you could run into some problems when messing with betas. So that's all I wanted to show you here. I'm gonna go down and show you guys the actual application. First off, let me tell you how to install it. If you have an Arch-based distribution, then it's obviously sudo pacman -S and then Thunderbird. And then in Debian systems, Ubuntu, it's sudo apt-get install Thunderbird, and that'll download the application, install it for you. It's in pretty much all the repositories, and in a lot of distributions, it comes as the default mail reader or mail client installed on the distribution, so you don't have to worry about really installing it. That's why I didn't want to go through and show you guys how to install it. I'm gonna just open it up and show you guys a little bit. So let's get started. Okay, so here is my mail client. I have it open. As you can see, I have my different accounts. This is my main Gmail account. This is my KeepItTechie email address, which you guys should already know. And then down here is my blog news feeds. So I added RSS feeds to my mail client, so I get updates from different websites that I follow. It's mainly Linux websites that I follow, so that's one good thing about this. And I know you could do this in Outlook, but it's the same thing here. You could do it here, but just to quickly go through a little bit about it. Actually, let me show you my inbox. Well, yeah, you can see my inbox right here. This is the way I have mine. You can set it up however you want to. You can view, just like in Outlook, how you can have it display below this. And then, as you scroll down, I never like to see the preview. So I always, leave it. So I have to double click on my email to open it up. And if I double click on my email, this is the whole tab feature, which I really like. And as you can see, that's blocking. I have certain things blocking remote content. But if you want to, change the preferences, you can show remote content for just this message, or you can allow from Twitter. This is a Twitter email address or a Twitter email. I can constantly allow it, so I can update the preferences as I go through my email, and that's kind of a way of it learning how you want to look at your email. But I always have it turned off on most of this stuff because there's no need for it, in my opinion. But that's the way you open up your email. It'll pop up like that. So let's go through the menu right fast. So, you can go new message, all that good stuff. But actually, let me go to the account preferences or account settings. So if we go here, this is how you go in once you've had Thunderbird set up and actually add more accounts or look at the accounts that you have and modify them if need be. But when you first open up Thunderbird for the first time, it'll pop up with a small wizard. And I wish I could show you guys that, but it's just a small wizard that'll pop up. It'll ask you for the email account, where the name of the account, whatever you want to name it. And actually you can name it whatever you want to. I just have it the email address. And then, you put in the email information, meaning the email account as well as the password. And most of the major email services out there, it should be able to automatically find those server settings for you. it'll connect to your account, set it up, and then start pulling your email from off the server. So that's pretty cool. That's one of the things. But this is how you go in and modify, certain stuff once you have your account set up. So I'm gonna hit cancel on that. And another thing I wanted to show you guys, you can actually go to the preferences. Now this will allow you to make certain changes to Thunderbird, similar to what I was saying. This is the general display. You can go through and change the font settings, composition. This is check your spelling. You could add dictionaries here, and I don't know if it comes by default now, but I remember when I first set up Thunderbird, I had to download my own dictionary. So they kind of leave it open to the user. So if you want a Italian dictionary or something like that, you can download that from here, and it will download that dictionary and it'll check spelling and all that stuff. So that's a good thing about this. Then you have chat, and I never used the chat feature, so not too familiar with it. But then the privacy settings, this is one of the things I was talking about. You can go through and set your privacy settings for it. So like I have it turned off right here to allow remote content in a message. One good thing is not to have that on, and then you could create exceptions from there. So not everything is, downloading the remote content to your computer. You know what I'm saying? You can make exceptions based on the emails that are sent to you. And this is the web content. You can accept cookies, remember website links I've visited, all your cookie information. You could turn off, tracking and all that stuff, which I'm actually going to make that selection now. And then the next tab is security tab. And this is the junk information, and you got the email scams. This will tell you after analyzing the message. They got antivirus, and then passwords. And then here's the attachment preferences. So you can you have your incoming settings. So I have it set up where it'll always ask me where to save the file. And then outgoing, you know what I'm saying? This is where you set up that whole file link thing, which I don't use. I just kind of send it because I send stuff through Gmail, and it's no issue with the size of attachments. I haven't had any issues with sending big attachments. So, and the next thing is the calendar preferences. You can go through and set up the settings for that, and then they have advanced. So you got your general, just general settings, advanced settings, network disk space, and certs if you have any, managing your certs. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you guys really is the add-ons. So when you go to tools and go to add-ons, this is the add-on manager. It starts out with a tab called recommendations. It'll have different things that they recommend you to install. I haven't really messed with any of these, but I have my own extensions that I use, and I'll show you guys those now. The extensions that are most important to me is the Enigma, which is the open PGP message encryption and authentication. So this is one thing that's very important to me because I like to send encrypted messages to certain people. Because if you didn't know, Google reads all your emails. So anything you send through their servers, it's read by them. And so I have certain people that I send encrypted messages to. I have my own key, public private key. The people that I'm sending email to, they have my public key, so they can decrypt my messages when they get them on their mail client. So Google doesn't see or is unable to read my email that I sent them. And just to expand on that, if you didn't know, all these major email services, they read your email. That's how they come up with the advertisement recommendations. Like when you're looking through your Gmail account on the right hand side, they'll have like some recommendations or ads for different things. Well, they read your email and they show you ads based on your email, like, and they look at your purchases. All that stuff is read by Google servers, and I'm not that comfortable with everything being read. Some of the stuff I don't care about, but things that I do, I encrypt them. So I send them through Thunderbird and I encrypt them. And that's just my preference. And it's a little bit of a process to set up, but it's not that difficult. It's just mainly creating keys and then putting your public key out there and actually sharing it with people so you can encrypt your email. And this is Lightning. I can't remember if I installed this or not, but this is an integrated calendaring and scheduling for email client. And then I know I installed these two, which is a provider for Google Calendar. So as you can see, this is a bi-directional access to Google Calendar. So if I add something to my calendar here, it'll pop up on my calendar on the web or on my phone. And then if I add something on my phone to my calendar, then it'll automatically, sync to here. So I'll see it on my calendar here. And then the good old G contact syncs, because I have all my contacts, on my Google account, and they're synced to my Thunderbird. So I can, quickly type in the contacts so I can send the email. Okay, and the next tab I want to show you guys is the themes. Like I said, I don't have any themes. I use the default, which kind of looks at the operating system color scheme and kind of match it. Which is, cool for me. I like it that way. And then the dictionaries, like this is where you would actually install that dictionary or download that dictionary. And the way you get more add-ons is you can just quickly search whatever you're looking for. So just type something in there, email, and it'll actually open up the add-ons page. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, make sure you leave comments down below. And of course, keep it techie.